At 0015 hours on November 14, 2025, the waters of the Novorossiysk Gulf were deceptively calm, a glassy mirror reflecting the heavy steel of Russia's most vital maritime fortress. On the shores, Russian sentries walked their familiar, predictable patrols, completely unaware that the coming hours would permanently erase the word untouchable from their vocabulary. Hidden among the shadows of the port infrastructure, Ukrainian operators were about to execute a masterclass in asymmetric warfare that had been meticulously calculated for months. Their target was not just a piece of land, but the very linchpin of the Russian Black Sea Fleet's operational survival, a sprawling logistical nerve center valued at more than $10 billion. Meanwhile, now roughly 600 kilometers away in the Odessa region, a heavy transport vehicle draped in camouflage netting idled quietly beneath a thick canopy of pine trees. Its cargo consisted of 4 modified long-range Neptune cruise missiles, each packing a devastating 249 kilograms of high explosives. They sat vertically in their launch tubes, completely silent, waiting to be unleashed like mechanical apex predators into the freezing night sky. Inside the launch command vehicle, Ukrainian engineers were not just looking at maps, they were wrestling with the atmosphere itself. They ran thousands of micro-simulations calculating wind shear, relative humidity, and sea surface temperatures to perfectly map a trajectory across the vast expanse of the Black Sea. Each coordinate and every approach vector was engineered to surgically exploit microscopic blind spots in the overlapping layers of the port's multi-million-dollar air defense grid. At exactly 0020 hours, the electronic firing sequence was initiated. A deep, violent rumble shook the Earth as the first Neptune missile tore itself from the launch tube, its solid rocket booster igniting into a blinding column of white-hot exhaust. Mere seconds later, the second, third, and fourth missiles followed in rapid succession, punching through the pine canopy. Almost immediately, the missiles pitched forward, executing a sharp dive toward the sea surface before leveling out to cruise at high subsonic speeds. To anyone watching from a distance, they were nothing more than invisible phantoms slipping into the dark. But physics was about to become Ukraine's greatest tactical advantage. The Neptune's flight profile was meticulously programmed to ride the cushion of air just a few meters above the wave crests, effectively sliding underneath the radar horizon and turning the Earth's natural curvature into an impenetrable stealth cloak. The first designated target of the night was the formidable Kuban S-400 radar cluster, a heavily fortified position overlooking the Novorossiysk harbor. From their climate-controlled hilltop bunkers, Russian radar operators suddenly noticed a flurry of anomalies ghosting across their high-resolution scopes. Hundreds of small, erratic blips at varying altitudes began converging on the port from multiple directions. At first, the operators dismissed the clutter as routine civilian naval traffic or atmospheric anomalies, until the tiny dots multiplied exponentially and formed aggressive attack arcs flowing from distinct vectors. Panic began to infect the command shelters as the operators realized they were under a coordinated assault. Ukrainian intelligence had simultaneously deployed massive swarms of FP-1 and FP-2 kamikaze drones, a carefully orchestrated electronic symphony designed to flood the Russian radar screens with sheer noise. The operators were suddenly forced to play a high-stakes guessing game, choosing between cheap plastic decoys and the real world-ending threats. The S-400 batteries roared to life in a panic, sending million-dollar interceptor missiles screaming into the night sky. The horizon lit up with spectacular mid-air detonations, scattering burning debris across the black water. But the true danger was already slipping right under their tracking threshold. While the multi-million-dollar Russian air defense grid was busy aggressively swatting at flying plastic party favors, the 4 Neptune missiles continued their terrifyingly low-altitude sprint. Hugging the jagged wave crests, they remained completely invisible to the powerful radar systems specifically designed to track high and medium altitude threats. Each missile's onboard computer was working in overdrive, making thousands of minor flight control corrections every second to ensure it stayed perfectly within the narrow, invisible corridor mapped out hours before. The absolute chaos painted on the Russian radar screens allowed the Ukrainian mission commanders to maintain complete control over the operational tempo, perfectly synchronizing the swarm of drone decoys with the precise arrival time of the heavy munitions. By 0035 hours, the first wave-skimming Neptune reached its designated S-400 target area. In a final, lethal maneuver, the missile pitched its nose up slightly, executing a brief vertical pop-up maneuver before plunging straight down into the heart of the radar cluster. The kinetic energy and the explosive payload combined in a catastrophic flash of light and heat. Shrapnel ripped through the surrounding launch tubes and fragile radar arrays, instantly setting off a massive chain reaction of cooking off ammunition that turned the million-dollar hilltop fortress into a crater of molten slag. The subsequent Neptune missiles mercilessly hunted down the remaining S-400 batteries and their critical support infrastructure, erasing them from the battlefield one by one. Massive columns of swirling fire erupted across multiple hillsides, completely illuminating the night and turning the port's closed-circuit surveillance feeds into a terrifying panorama of uncontrolled destruction. By 0045 hours, at least 4 separate S-400 launch vehicles were totally obliterated, their powerful tracking radars permanently blinded, and their long-held myth of regional invulnerability shattered into ash. With the air defense umbrella violently ripped away, the Ukrainian operators shifted their crosshairs to the beating heart of the port itself. The massive oil terminal, a sprawling concrete and steel complex packed with heavy-duty pumps, holding tanks, and endless container yards, became the undisputed focal point of the next wave. Following the initial strikes, fresh waves of low-flying drones flooded into the undefended airspace, their thermal optical sensors locking onto the massive heat signatures radiating from the facility's command centers and critical storage silos. Explosions cascaded through the industrial park in a relentless rhythm, sending spirals of liquid fire surging through ruptured pipelines and tearing through tightly packed tank clusters with terrifying ease. As the catastrophic fires spread, the port's automated emergency suppression systems violently struggled to respond to the unfolding disaster. The reality was that many of these critical safety networks were already completely offline, severed by the immense shockwaves of the initial Neptune missile hits. Above the roaring flames, Ukrainian drone swarms maneuvered with absolute impunity, serving as high-definition eyes in the sky. They systematically surveyed the massive complex, confirming the devastation of the primary hits while relentlessly searching for any intact infrastructure left to burn. Some of these unmanned aerial vehicles executed an even more terrifying maneuver, landing directly atop key logistical facilities and silently triggering localized demolition charges that set off cascading secondary fires. As the cold light of dawn approached the horizon, Russian forces frantically scrambled to regain any semblance of control over their crumbling fortress. The FP-1 and FP-2 drone swarms remained highly active in the airspace, constantly shifting their tactical formations, dropping relentless electronic decoy signals, and ruthlessly exploiting the known limitations of the remaining Russian sensors. The surviving short-range air defense batteries fired their heavy cannons repeatedly into the blinding smoke, but most of their expensive munitions were completely misdirected. They were effectively shooting blind into the empty sea or detonating against expendable plastic decoys, turning their own rapid ammunition depletion into a massive strategic vulnerability. Meanwhile, deep inside the heavily reinforced port command centers, the initial wave of confusion had fully mutated into pure, unfiltered panic. The surviving Russian radar operators misidentified incoming targets, wildly miscalculated approach distances, and hopelessly struggled to track the hundreds of remaining drones buzzing above their heads. The thermal and radar sensors they had trusted for years had effectively been weaponized against them, becoming a deadly trap of misinformation. Every single second of delay allowed even more Ukrainian drones and missiles to approach the port unopposed, steadily eroding whatever defensive capacity remained. By 0500 hours, the relentless assault reached a devastating crescendo as a Neptune missile struck its final program target at the main pumping station, detonating with earth-shattering force directly above the central manifold. The immense kinetic shockwave instantly vaporized the station's primary control room, completely severed the heavy-duty power distribution lines, and sent the massive underground pipelines into immediate and critical failure. Massive secondary explosions consumed the adjacent holding tanks, sending columns of thick black smoke and brilliant orange flames reflecting across the dark waters of the Gulf, a terrifying beacon visible for dozens of kilometers. A fourth Neptune missile completed the terminal's destruction mere seconds later, purposefully targeting a cluster of fully loaded storage tanks and igniting a series of deep-seated chemical fires that would violently burn for hours. At this exact moment, the multi-billion-dollar logistical hub of Novorossiysk was effectively paralyzed, its sprawling, irreplaceable infrastructure buckling under the relentless pressure of a synchronized multi-vector assault. The calculated chaos quickly spread much deeper into the operational heart of the port facility. The massive container yards, critical storage warehouses, and central logistics centers suddenly became the primary focus of highly precise drone strikes. The agile FP-1 units moved in extremely low and incredibly fast, utilizing the dense industrial architecture to evade both visual spotting and radar detection, effortlessly landing highly concentrated explosive charges directly onto critical loading cranes and vital supply nodes. This terrifying combination of heavy cruise missile strikes and agile unmanned aerial vehicles created overlapping waves of absolute destruction that were impossible to defend against. The exhausted Russian military personnel on the ground struggled desperately to differentiate the real explosive threats from the countless electronic decoys filling the sky. This masterful combination of thick smoke, roaring fire, and artificial heat signatures created a completely manufactured battlefield, forcing the panicked Russian defense operators to react reflexively rather than strategically. By 0530 hours, the vast majority of the surviving short-range batteries were blindly firing at phantom targets. They were rapidly wasting their most precious interceptor ammunition and critical response time on empty airspace, completely unaware that the real killing blow was already in motion. From the dark southern approaches of the Black Sea, 2 additional long-range Neptune cruise missiles were suddenly launched to finalize the total operational disruption of the port's core industrial facilities. These 2 heavily armed missiles carried identical, devastating payloads of 249 kilograms of high explosives, specifically programmed to annihilate the few remaining pieces of critical infrastructure holding the port together. One missile was locked directly onto the sprawling central power distribution hub, while the other was mathematically aimed at the massive main fuel pumping station. Both of these lethal weapons flew just a few meters above the freezing water, flawlessly executing their pre-calculated wave-skimming trajectories that completely avoided any radar detection until the absolute final seconds of their flight. The panicked Russian radar operators only glimpsed them as incredibly faint, fleeting blips on their screens when the missiles were already within 20 kilometers of the coastline, leaving absolutely no time for a coordinated interception. The central power hub was violently struck at precisely 0547 hours. A massive series of chain reaction explosions erupted through the transformers, instantly knocking out all electricity across the northern and western sections of the massive port complex. The massive automated loading cranes immediately ground to a halt mid-operation, their heavy steel arms freezing in the thick, smoke-filled air. The entire grid of industrial lighting systems completely failed in an instant, and the high-definition surveillance cameras that monitored the perimeter immediately went dark. Novorossiysk was no longer merely vulnerable to an attack, it was entirely temporarily incapacitated, left completely blind and bleeding in the early dawn. During this critical window of darkness, the highly agile FP-2 drones ruthlessly executed coordinated reconnaissance missions right over the defenders' heads. Some of these units were specifically programmed to simulate massive additional attack vectors, flying in wide, aggressive arcs that strongly suggested simultaneous strikes were happening elsewhere along the coastline. The surviving Russian defensive operators, still desperately attempting to assess the catastrophic situation in front of them, were severely misled into over-prioritizing the wrong targets. This fatal miscalculation allowed the main strikes to proceed completely unhindered. At exactly 0600 hours, the Russian naval patrols frantically attempted to respond to the chaos. Heavy patrol boats aggressively accelerated toward the suspected targets, but the perfectly coordinated timing of the drone and missile strikes ensured the defenders were already hopelessly misaligned. The Russian military helicopters that were launched incredibly late only managed to encounter these false electronic signatures, completely expending their limited aviation fuel while pointlessly chasing expendable decoy formations over the empty sea. Every single tactical maneuver attempted by the Russian forces was flawlessly anticipated, meticulously planned for, and systematically neutralized by the Ukrainian operators, who were quietly monitoring the entire battlefield in real time. Meanwhile, the sprawling shatters terminal suffered catastrophic power and structural damage across multiple interconnected facilities. Even with their partial emergency protocols fully activated, the exhausted firefighting and chemical containment teams were completely overwhelmed, heavily hampered by the severely limited visibility and the ongoing psychological harassment of the low-flying drones. Simultaneously, the remaining long-range Neptune cruise missiles continued their terrifying flight across the Black Sea. They remained strictly subsonic, perfectly sea-skimming, and guided by a lethal combination of inertial navigation and preloaded high-resolution visual waypoints. These sophisticated missiles easily avoided all of the frantic Russian electronic jamming efforts, slipping right through the invisible defensive nets. The unique atmospheric conditions of the morning, including a slight but critical temperature inversion hovering over the Gulf, naturally caused the Russian radar beams to bend slightly upward, further concealing the incoming missiles beneath a blanket of physics. The desperate operators at Novorossiysk simply could not rely solely on their electronic tracking systems anymore. Every single agonizing second that passed allowed the lethal missiles to approach the port with absolutely minimal interference. At precisely 0630 hours, the third long-range Neptune finally reached the massive northern fuel storage cluster. Its advanced infrared seeker instantly identified the absolute hottest points on the ground, rapidly scanning the sprawling complex for the most critical operational tanks. In the absolute final moments of its violent descent, the missile aggressively adjusted its course and plunged directly into the single largest storage tank on the property. The thermal images quietly captured by the high-flying Ukrainian drones showed the superheated fuel rapidly spreading in brilliant, bright ribbons across the concrete port, hungrily feeding the already massive, growing inferno as the remaining firefighting systems were either completely offline or entirely overwhelmed.